What's poppin', chat? Hope all you're doing great. Week 6 of the Delusionals Dynasty is in the books. Can do this video like we've been doing. Start with the game of the week breakdown. Then we'll go to the rest of the games that we had this week, break all of them down, do the power rankings for this week, go into next week's game of the week, and go from there. So we'll start it off with this week's game of the week as Nick's North Texas Mean Green hosts the Fresno State Bulldogs. Unfortunately, the cameraman for this week's game of the week forgot to hit record, so we don't have any highlights. With that being said, we missed a great game as Nick's boys just barely squeaked out a 16-13 win over the Bulldogs. According to Coach Hugh Janus, Fresno may have the best DNs in college football as they were eating him alive all game. The Mean Green will look to continue rolling as they look ahead to a potential American Conference Championship game if they keep winning like they are. Next, we head up to Ohio to see some action between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Akron Zips. Wade and his team are unfortunately not able to keep up the momentum from last week as they go down 31-21 to the Zips. This puts Wade's team at 2-3 on the year and fighting an uphill battle in the second half of this season. Next, we take a trip to South Beach as Cameron's FIU Panthers host the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. We do have highlights of this game, and we started off with a nice speed option to the left, where the FIU back hits a beautiful hurdle on the sideline before being forced out. The Panthers then ran hurry up, where the QB obviously saw some press coverage he liked, and sent the ball downfield to his wideout who said, "See ya!" and took it 50 yards for the long touchdown to put FIU up by 2 scores. Next, we see the Panthers slot receiver hit a post route that left the Hilltopper safety in no man's land, and he also took it 50 yards to get the Panthers back up by 2 touchdowns and celebrate by Widowy Gwydion on the defender. Then we see FIU lined up in the Wild Panther offense as the FIU back hands it to the other FIU back on a jet sweep. The back makes a few cuts to follow his blocks and ends up breaking this one off for 80 yards and a house call on an impressive run to extend the lead. And as time is about to expire, we see FIU line up to rub a little dirt in the wound with a Hail Mary from their side of the field. The Panthers QB throws into triple coverage, but we see a very lucky tip drill where the ball ends up in the Panthers receiver's hands as he walks in to give FIU a final score of 62-17 over their in-conference foe. Now we check in on Jacob's Baylor Bears as they look to bounce back after the Week 5 upset. They go on the road this week against the Iowa State Cyclones and end up winning a high-scoring affair, 52-40, to right the ship and get back in the win column. The Bears look to keep rolling as the Big 12 is still very much in their grasp. Next, we tune into the highlights of Jeff's Stanford Cardinal as they go on the road to play the Hokies of Vatech. We start with a highlight from possibly the best name in college sports as Stanford's Tiger Bachmeier goes deep on a go route, burning the Hokies corner to give the Cardinal an early lead. Next, we see Stanford's back Cedric Irvin takes a handoff right up the middle and somehow comes out on the other side of a wall of defenders to take it to the house for the Cardinal for another touchdown. Then we see Jeff's boys with the most successful play of this year's game, a jet touch pass from 10 out to extend Stanford's lead late in the 4th. And finally, we cap things off with a go route from Stanford's Brennan Barrow, who makes the catch right as the Vatech defender either pulls a hammy or just gives up on the play, taking 70 yards as time expires, and gives Stanford the 70-40 conference win and a 4-0 record so far this year. Now we head to the teal field of Coastal Carolina as the Old Dominion Monarchs go on the road against the Chanticleers. Austin's boys came through in a big way in this conference game as they took the win 57-12. Old Dominion will look to keep rolling and keep moving up in the power rankings this year. Then we check in on the Vandy Commodores as they head up to Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. Seth's team mounted a hell of a fourth quarter comeback to get back on the winning track. Let's hope they can keep winning and make some waves in the SEC this year. Now we head to Indiana where the Hoosiers host the Aggies of Texas A&M. Chet's team couldn't pull it out as they go down to the Aggies 38-35. This drops them to 4-2 in the season, which must make the user game to FIU feel even worse for the Panthers coach. We then had 3 bye weeks this week as Ben's Rice Owls and Cameron W's CSU Rams take a breather after starting the season undefeated to this point, and Krish's ASU Sun Devils take a break to regroup after taking their first loss of the season. And finally, that is about to make a name for himself, as his team heads on down to the Bayou to take on the Tulane Green Wave. We start the highlights with the Blazers backed up to 3rd and 20 from their own 10. But with his heels planted on the goal line, the QB delivers a beautiful ball over the middle, and the UAB receiver makes the most of it, taking it the distance to take the 7-0 lead. Next, we see a little shiftiness as the Blazers back takes it up the middle, somehow untouched, and takes it 70 yards to take the 21-7 lead. Next, we see a little rollout from the UAB QB as he puts the pass just over the corner's head for a beautiful touchdown and a 3-score lead. And finally, after a Green Wave comeback, the Blazers nail a field goal with less than 2 minutes left to take the game 41-33 and move to 5-1 on the season. Next, we have the Week 6 Power Rankings. Each week, I'm going through our league and looking at how the teams have done this far in the season and rank them according to that performance. Extra emphasis will be put on user games for these rankings. Starting off this week, we have a new number 1 as North Texas takes the spot. Next, we have Rice dropping to 2nd. I hate to drop a team solely because of a bye week, but up to this point in the season, Rice and North Texas have been neck and neck, so whoever has the most wins has to take the lead in my opinion. 3rd is still Stanford. They have now caught up to CSU at 4-0, and that dominating Week 1 performance keeps them here. And 4th is still CSU. They round out the last of the still undefeated teams, but with a bye week, they weren't moving up without someone above them losing. 5th now is Baylor. With last week's 5th losing, Baylor gets back into the top 5 in the league. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th follow suit with Baylor as Old Dominion, UAB, FIU, and ASU, respectively, all move up 1 spot because of 5th's loss this past week. 10th now is Indiana. This loss made me think about dropping them more, but going off of my rule that they are the only team with a user win this season, they have to be above the other 2-loss team and take 10th. 11th and 12th also stay the same as Vandy remains at 11, even though I did consider them jumping Indiana too, and Bowling Green drops another game to stay at 12th. That will do it for the Week 6 Power Rankings. I'm interested in where we go from here, with multiple teams looking at undefeated seasons, while a few others fight to make a bowl game. The next segment we have is the Game of the Week. Each week we'll select one game to highlight for the upcoming week, and get some quotes from the coach on their expectations. We have one of the toughest games this season featured for Week 7, as the Stanford Cardinal traveled to South Bend to play their rival Notre Dame on the road. We reached out to Stanford's offensive coordinator Billy Playbooks to see what he had to say about this upcoming matchup. From the desk of Stanford OC Billy Playbooks: I'm proud of the way the offense has come together through our first 4 games of the season, but with a lot of season left, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We understand what a night game in South Bend means for this rivalry, and averaging 2 interceptions a game like we are right now won't cut it under the lights. It's our first big challenge of the year, so hopefully what we've learned about our strengths and weaknesses up to this point will help us put together a winning plan. Fear the tree. Great words by Billy. Let's hope that his boys can pull it off with a big upset in South Bend at night and see how it goes. But anyway, that'll conclude this week's breakdown. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Like I've said before, please make sure to, if you watch this far into the video, like and subscribe. It really means a lot. I stream this game here on YouTube and over on Twitch. C-Money-AZ on both, so make sure you tune in there. Plus, the boys over at the Sports Scramble Media are streaming theirs on Twitch. And Big ZD, Austin, is streaming his as well. It's Big ZD. I'll have both of those 2 channels linked in the description as well. So y'all make sure to tune in. We got plenty of content coming out of this game, and I hope y'all enjoy it. So anyway, thank you again, and I'll see y'all next time. See you.